All right. I think I'm just gonna announce this, and it should actually, yeah, there we go. It should actually have a live. There we go. And it should actually, all right. Create this announcement, and we'll get into the game. I'm gonna go with a basic Joseki, because the basic Joseki is, yeah, it's good. I actually, I'm actually starting to prefer like the white side of this Joseki because it just gives more territory. The black side does give influence, which it depends on which style of game you actually like to play. It really depends on which style of game you like to play. So what's happening here is that basically each side is trading territory for influence. I would have gone on the higher side though. I definitely would have gone on the higher side for that. So, and it really depends like how well he's able to make use of his influence. Because I definitely have more solid territory than he does right now. You know, like he's kind of like leaving this side, leaving that side, and it really depends like how much influence can he actually use his influence. Because if you really look at it, he doesn't have that much solid territory. That's pretty good. I'm going to play this move here. I can double Hane. So he's going to be fighting for the middle influence a little bit. I don't think that's a good move. I would have just Hane it again. This looks pretty big, honestly, but there's a lot I can actually there's actually a lot I can gain from this. Remember, like both this and this are still available from me, so I technically have at least one of those two corners. I don't think that's a good move for him. Interesting. I'm definitely going to fight this. I'm going to go this way and derive down that way and see like who can actually. Oh, that's actually a really big loss for him. One, it is Gote for him. It's like Gote for him for one. And two, I can actually do this and cause him a lot of problems. So that's a big loss. And he, like, by doing that, he just gave me all of this bottom territory. So that's actually a pretty darn big loss for him. What to do, because there is a bit of territory that I can actually, there is definitely a bit of territory I can go here. And if I play this move, or if I play this move, I do have like the chance for this type of invasion and to cut him off here. But it is a little bit risky for me to do this. There is a decent amount of territory up there though, so I think I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just a pair down, like I can block this way. I can definitely block that way. I'm not afraid of this particular cut because then he has to like fight. If he cuts this way, I'm just going to connect. So I'm not afraid of that cut as well. I'm not really afraid of that cut at all. That's not a good move, man. Like, so I can do this first. Then I can connect this. And then, the heck? Oh, that's awful. Okay, first of all, I'm going to push. And then I'm just going to connect this. You actually have to fix this. And yeah, you do take away some of my corner, but you're giving away so much. Like here, you essentially just gave away like your entire upper influence. And I'm actually just going to do this and flatten him out. And not only that, and this problem doesn't actually end here. This particular problem like makes it so that your territory over here isn't worth as your influence over here isn't really worth as much because now I actually do have a lot of influence over here. I don't really care if you kill this territory here. My goal was actually just to flatten out your territory over here because I've already gotten a lot of advantages over here. I'm just going to go ahead and do this first. Because you can't really threaten this group. I mean, I guess you can kind of, but not really. I might run into a little bit of trouble here. I don't think so, though. Maybe I played that wrong. Might have played that wrong. Like, you can't actually threaten this group. I pretty much already have 2 eyes here. And I don't think you can actually threaten that group. I pretty much already have 2 eyes there. I think I'm going to go down here this way. Then go up here.
Challenge received.
This might be a little bit of trouble because he can go this way, I guess, but I can just do this. I can sacrifice those 2. I don't think they're that big. That I'm not going to answer. That I'm really not going to answer. I'm just going to do this. Because if he does this, I can just come over this way. This stone is irrelevant. That's not really all that threatening. And come to it, I can just kill. I can sacrifice those 3 as well if I really need to. This doesn't really matter all that much for, and this actually makes the other thing like, this actually makes that like a huge. This actually makes the other thing that I was talking about a big problem for him. I think I made a mistake there, actually. I can give up these 3. It's not a huge deal for me to give up those 3. Let's do this. Remember, like, this group is alive if I just do this, so it's not a huge deal. Do I have to do that? As long as I'm alive here, it doesn't really matter. Okay, there is actually a little bit of a... I think I can do this. He can play a Ko here. Um, see, like, how much of his... You see, oh, wait, I think I messed that up, actually. Yeah, I messed that up pretty bad. I have the option to do this and then come up here, but I'm not really sure if that would work for me. Yeah, I messed that up. If I do this, I can't live here, I don't think. So I'm just going to go ahead and haunt it here. Just cut the losses and essentially take the Sentes. I think I'll be okay for the most part. I should have connected this, definitely. That's a mistake by me. Definitely should have connected that. That was a pretty big mistake by me, actually. Actually, I didn't need to do that. But whatever. This is a pretty big mistake. Fortunately, that I made. This is pretty big, though. And it's Sente as well, so. It's actually also pretty big. You didn't need to do that. I think this is fairly large, because it... What? Why would you do that? I mean... I don't get it exactly. Just give me a couple points there. I think he gave up like too many bottom points here at the end. I do think he gave up like way too many bottom points there. Did I make a mistake here? I don't think so. Guys, please hit the likes and subscribes. And yeah, that'd help me a lot. I don't particularly think this is a good move, but yeah, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Particularly. Just going to take all the Sente moves. So this, would it be Sente? No, it probably wouldn't. So I'm not going to go there. Eventually I have to fix this anyways. I'm going to do this. Yes. Might as well just do this. Does that first. Okay. I think I can just go this way. Pretty sure I can. Because it doesn't really matter. This way, yeah, he doesn't have enough liberty, so I'm just going to squeeze this. Do have to close this. He does have to close that. Let's do this. Do this. Then Atari here. Fill in this. I don't think there's anything over here. I'm probably going to repair one anyways, but I don't think there's anything over there.
You're yummy.
I think I'm just going to do this. Even if he
Pass.
does this, I don't think there's anything here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here.
Remove the dead stones.
Yeah, I win by quite a lot. Mainly he gave way too much points down there.
You have
and
won.
Despite me making a lot of mistakes here, despite me actually making a ton of mistakes down here, this mistake down here, like he gave up like too much up there. So like the trades just didn't really go in his favor. So let's actually review this. Like I said, this is a pretty even trade. This is actually a pretty even trade. This is fine. This is also fine. Like, I don't have any big advantages here. I would have definitely gone on the upper, but he does that. Yeah, the 3-3 invasion is better because you get the corner territory, but this doesn't make too much of a difference. Tuck under. This is fine. The heck? So, yeah, I think this is a little bit better. Because the shape is just a little bit better for black than coming over in this situation, but it doesn't really matter all that much. So at this point, I feel like I am a little bit ahead because I do have like too much solid territory. He has built up a lot of influence, but at this point, it's basically like how well he can actually use that influence. Here, yeah, this is going to be Sente, because I can't let him do that. So if he does this first, he does this first. I feel like when he just takes this, I feel like at this point, if he actually played something like this, I feel like I do have more solid territory, but he can actually use his influence pretty well. So if I was black myself, I would probably do this first because I know this, like, usually this is not worth exchanging, but if you're building up your influence, it could be like you could actually do this as well. And then maybe you would either you would go here because with these two trades, your influence is quite a bit more solid there, in my opinion. So essentially, doing that first is fine, but like it does actually give me pause to go over here, which is just as big to reduce his influence. Hane, double Hane. Um, that's a mistake. I feel like you kind of have to do this. And then like I have to Hane this way. And then basically like you want, like in this situation where white is battling black, like both sides are like really trying to get like come out on top because I'm trying to get the territory over here. You're trying to get the territory over here. If you play passive, you're going to lose a lot. So that's why like when I Hane, that's when you want to do this first, and then like you want to do this. I'm not going to let you come out here. I don't know. I don't think this is worth it for white because if I let you do this, like my bottom territory is gone, and yes, like your territory here is gone. Sure, but the thing is, letting you take this, your potential for territory over here has like grown exponentially now. So that's a problem for white because taking this, sure, like I break some of your bottom territory here, but there's too much potential here. So I really don't think white would actually trade that way. Like white, like as you can see here on Kata Go, like white essentially will actually extend. White's not going to take the double Atari trade because to me, this is a loss for white. There's not too much white can do down here either. Like he can't kill your group. So this is like not a trade that white would actually want to take. So yeah, you should have threatened him, or you should have threatened white over there. But doing this, I feel like gives me a pretty big advantage because like your territory is really really flattened out over here. I still have R. I either have S17 or R15 on this move, and either one like reduces your territory by a lot. So and solidifies me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. This is okay. So when I do this, like you should actually extend. I would do this. If you do this, I don't really know how this fight comes out. I mean, if you do this though, but you can always do this, and that's actually, you can try to do this. I actually don't know how this fight comes out. I don't really know how this fight comes out. I mean, it is an option. I probably wouldn't though. I probably wouldn't. Because like there's limited space in here. I don't think you can make two. I really don't think you can actually make two eyes. And even if you do, like you give me this thickness up here. So I guess that really isn't really that much of an option. So I don't really know what you would do with this. So like the correct move, I guess, is here and then come on top here. So you can see how kind of that works out. But either way, you're giving me this territory in exchange for this influence. But I actually, like the thing is, like I don't actually favor this because I really don't. I really don't favor this because essentially you're giving away this territory for a possibility of this territory. And the thing is, like, this is risky, but like this kind of invasion is an option later for white. But of course, there's this ko here, so I wouldn't do it right now. So like, I feel like that's kind of I feel like it's a little bit risky. I don't really favor this trade, but the AI is okay with it. Yeah, I would never think of a move like this. But technically, I guess that's the AI coordinated move. But either way, I jump up over here to flatten this out. Because like I feel like after this, you've already given up enough territory over here that I'm not too worried about you getting a little bit of territory here. Like this is a lot of territory here that black's given up. So that I'm gonna go down here. I know like he might have been depending on me to do that to cut this stone off, but that's not gonna happen because if you cut, I'm just gonna cut this way, and I'm not really afraid to just play with you over here because it doesn't matter if you take my bottom territory. as long as I can flatten out your top. So I like, and if you just cut over this way, like I'm just gonna connect. You don't have any chance to kill me in here. And if you try to do this, I'm just gonna like try to kill your 2 stones down here. So that's kind of like what I'm gonna do. So essentially, he does. So I come up, he does that. I'm gonna do this. That's a really bad move. That move actually has no purpose. I could just do this, and then do this. Um, yeah, I should have done that because if I did that, you'd be at a total loss. Because you couldn't really do anything here. Like the only thing you could do is this, but this doesn't really do much. Like I think black is either dead or black either dies or has to like have some like really bad retrieval, like, or if you just do this, like I feel like if you just do this, black is dead. So black really can't do anything here. Yeah, that's a bad. This is a bad move. I didn't play it right, but it's a bad move. So he does this. I Atari this way. He extends. I'm just gonna connect this. I expected him to kind of do this, so I can do this. So the thing is, I think I actually made a mistake. I might have been better just taking this because he has to connect this, and then I have Sente, and I'm so much thicker over here. So if I did this now, it'd even be better for me, I guess. So I guess. Either way, like either way this came out, it's a big mistake for him. Cause like this is Gote for him, and then like me coming down here, he has to answer. Like this is the best answer. I can't really do anything over here, and then I would have to figure out some way to reduce this territory. Going in below lets me basically come out here and strengthen my stones over here, which actually allows me to actually invade over here. Now that I have kind of a wall over here, I can actually try to destroy this territory. I'm just going to jump back. This is not really all that consequential. I'm just going to go ahead and finish this. The thing is, like, once I did this, you probably would be better off doing this. If I take this, this is a much bigger threat now because you're threatening this cut. So I actually made a little bit of a mistake there. But, like, connecting this, like, looks good, but it's actually a little bit of it's definitely a mistake for why. Because I forgot, like, I keep on, I misjudged the value of these 2 stones. These 2 stones aren't that valuable. So he should have just let that go. So I'm obviously going to connect. He's going to come up here. And the thing is, I probably shouldn't have even connected here. I should have just done this. Because if he does this and I do this, I'm still alive. So there's no threat there. I should have just definitely done something like this. I think it would have been much better for me. So connect, I connect. He does this. He goes this way, and this is actually okay. Connects, I do this. This is really big. He does this. I should have just gone this way, honestly. Because, like, black actually has a lot of problems. Black actually has a ton of problems, like, over here. So I should have just definitely done like something like this. There's a lot of problems for black over here. Because, you have to answer this. And even if I do this, like, you're kind of hosed. Like, what are you going to do about this? If you kind of answer, like, over here or something, this is dead. There's no way you can run this. You just don't have enough liberties to compete with me. So, and if you, you're like in a lot of trouble. If you do this or this, remember, like, I'm not afraid of this because I still have this over here and I can just kind of live over here as well. And plus, like, you still have this issue. So if you actually connect this, then I'm pretty sure that this is just dead. So there's a lot of problems with this. So I guess I did not calculate this outright, which is why I Atari'd the other way. Or I didn't Atari, I jumped out here. Obviously this is the right move. I should have done this pretty much right away. But like, I jumped out, he does this, so I'm obviously going to do this. Because like, I'm afraid that without doing this, he would do something like this, and this cut would actually be vulnerable. but realistically, like it's these three stones really aren't that important right now. So I did make that mistake. So here, like I'm obviously going to do this. I'm not going to repair this again because it doesn't really matter if he does this. I'm just going to go this way. He can have that one stone. That's not important at all. That, like, this particular move is no longer as effective because, yeah, like cutting here is definitely still the best move for me. But I just kind of like blocked here. Extends downward. This is this is actually pretty good because then if he actually plays here, then this group, these three are dead. So he should have like I guess fixed this error first. But I'm gonna come out here. He's gonna do this. Like I think anytime doing this would actually be a really critical move right now. Anytime like you do that, that's gonna be a really critical move because it forces me to come out here. And now you have like this protection here, and it actually gets really, really hard for white to actually do anything here. Now, white at this point still has this move. You have to remember that. Like, white still has this move. So, white still has that particular option to move. So, like, it's not like black can actually kill white that easily because white still has this option. And you're kind of in a you're kind of in a bad jam here. And I don't know if like Liberty's fight. I don't think black wins this one because white can extend Liberties down here. So you're still kind of in a bind here. And that's why this move is important because that kind of solves your bind and it forces white to do something like this. And now like now you're actually able to actually attack this very, very successfully maybe. I don't know if this works though. Um, I don't know. It is kind of sketch. It is kind of sketchy, but having the stone down here actually helps a lot. So we end up playing the sequence. There's actually a mistaken sequence by him because he could have taken a bunch of sentes here, I guess. Um, I'm gonna do this, and you don't. I really like if you're gonna play this, you would actually do this, and like because if you play this like let's say like let's go if you play this like if I do this it's still if I do that it's still white's win, right? But if you but you have to think like if you do this and I don't answer, like if you do this and I don't answer, you can kill white by doing this now. So it is actually a pretty big it is actually a fairly big difference which one you do. It's several points of a difference. So this is definitely not the right answer. Like if you're going to play down here, you would do this. If I have to connect, then you could try to play down here and get a sente and try to kill me. But the thing is, like, this is obviously a big mistake. Then I'm going to crawl here. He's going to do that. You give me all the bottom territory already. And then, like, you give me the bottom territory. And, like, I get to break some territory over here. The reason this is better because it's a forcing move for white. It's a forcing move to white. So you do this. I'm going to Hane here first. Then I'm going to jump down here. Yeah, I forgot about this. But that might not actually be so good because then white can just do this. And you'd be kind of hosed as well. So that's kind of what you'd be afraid of with that. Yeah, after you do this, this is definitely like the way to go because then you don't really have any fear of then you don't really have any fear of doing this, I guess. Yeah, but that's still I guess that's still problematic. There's a couple of issues, but definitely after you do this, like you should definitely do this and do this in because then like you're connected and it doesn't really matter anymore. So that squeeze is definitely like something that squeeze is definitely something I missed. I don't really know if this was big enough. This squeeze still does exist, and it's actually fairly big. That's just something I shouldn't have left open. Doing that. Yeah, this squeeze is still kind of there. Although, like, I feel like if you did the squeeze at this point, I would just go this way and then do this, and you'd be kind of a little bit trapped. But eventually, like, G7 was there all along. After I do this, of course, like, at this point, I realize, oh, yeah, there's a problem there. So that's why I actually did this right now. And of course, I did actually miss this. I should have just connected here or just gone down here. And this would have been Sente, obviously. So, like, once this happened, like, I should have just probably connected. And then this would have been how this actually worked out. But I did mess up there. So, like, a lot of people would actually play this out. A lot of people would actually play this out. But the thing is, like when you see something like this, oh, I lost the 2 stones. Don't play it out. Just cut your losses, go somewhere else, which is what I did. That's fine. He does have to repair this. This would obviously be the best repair method because like it does put a little bit of pressure down here. Whereas if you just connect, you give me another Sente here, a chance for a Sente here, and like I get Sente. So it's actually a pretty big difference which one you do. This is not that big because when you do this, you have to think about like what if white does this? You might have to retreat that way, right? And that's probably 2 or 3 points. But if you do this, you get 2 or 3 points, but you give up all these points and the Sente. So the difference between like the difference between like that and something like this is pretty massive because there's at least 5 or 6 points here. So that's why that's why the game actually gets further and further apart. I do this. So here you would probably just connect. If I Atari here, you can always just do this. Because those two aren't really worth all that much. So the fact that you did this and then I connected, you should still do this. If I do this once again, you just connect. It's 4 points. Whereas like, if you do this, I should have cut first, but I did this. And then it's Sente for me. And like this is just worth more points down here. So that's another little bit of a differentiator. I went ahead and blocked this. I did go ahead and block this because that is actually worth a lot of points. Once I do this, you shouldn't do this. There's no threat in my group. There's absolutely no threat onto my group here. And this is 2 or 3 points. It's not worth it right now. So I'm going to go here. This would be the move to do because it forces me this way. This obviously just feeds me more points. And like finishing up, I got a couple more points because of like Sentes like this. But generally, like I think where most of this game was actually determined was like when he actually gave me a lot of territory down here, and like moves like M12, and not playing this part well, not attacking this group well, is what actually like cost him the game. So that is this right now. So if someone actually challenged me over here, I don't think that's there anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and put up another. I am actually gonna go ahead and put up and play again. I'll wait for 10 minutes as usual for someone to accept the challenge, and then like if no one accepts the challenge, I'm just gonna go eat dinner. Wait until 5:10. Wait until 5:10 for someone to accept this challenge. So it's like it's all the way down here. Wait, hang on. Why is there 2 of them? That doesn't make any sense.
Challenge received.
How do I get rid of this custom game thing? I cancel this and then
Game started.
I guess I will. Yeah, I'll go ahead and play this. I'm still not very familiar with the Fisher timing rules. I think since he didn't actually answer this one over here, I am going to just play this. because then I can have the double approach. I mean, which isn't bad, but you know. I don't think that's the best move. Can't let him have that. You can't let him have that move. I think I'm gonna go over here. Probably should have like gone here first. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. This is kind of like this is not a good shape. I think I'm okay with doing this. I don't know if that's a good move or not. I don't mind having him come up top. That doesn't really threaten me. I would have liked to have this move, though. Definitely would have liked to have that move, but still. I'm actually not very familiar with the double approach play, honestly. I do it all the time, but I'm still not very familiar with the actual play. For this move, by the ways, for this particular move, like I do actually believe R12 is better than what I just did. Because you do eventually just have to do this. It kind of sucks. I probably played that wrong. I'm almost sure I played that wrong. Giving up a little bit too much over here. It's like, now I don't really have that much solid territory. I don't think that's actually a good move. I'm going to go block on the bottom. Because that kind of takes away M18. I'm not really afraid of him like attacking this group. Okay. I think coming over here would actually be pretty big. It's kind of unfamiliar territory for me. I don't actually play this sequence a lot. I hardly ever play the sequence, actually. But I think like flattening out this territory is pretty important. Probably should just play the corner, though. Also, that's not a good move. I'm definitely just going to take the territory on this one. There's no question about that. That's a big loss for black. It's a huge loss for black. Yeah, you give up way too many points in the corner for that, in my opinion. And plus, you have a bunch of cuts here later on. This is actually a pretty risky move for black. Um, he actually did that. Okay. I don't think he has a real chance of killing me here. He might, but I don't. I just don't see it. This is not one of those things that I think is going to work out well for him. Um, I don't think he has a real chance of killing me here. I probably should have just taken the easy route and done that, but still. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Um, that's probably not crucial, honestly. Yeah, that move doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense at all. These are actually really egregious miscalculations. Because you essentially don't have any threat on me. And there's like all these things I can do to actually break into your territory. You you don't have any real chance to kill me here. Because if I do this and come down, I'm basically alive. Legitimately, like I probably should have Atari'd, but realistically, I don't think you have any real chance of killing me here.
You have won.
All right, let's actually go back and review this. This was definitely game. This is definitely game breaking here. Here, like he was actually ahead. I think this is game breaking. I think this is like I think this he actually lost a lot there, but maybe I calculated that wrong. It's just like maybe I might not be valuing the influence enough. I know I screwed up over here. I know for a fact that I screwed up over here. So instead of this, I should have done this. Settling this is more important than coming up. I definitely always overvalued this move. Yeah, this is also a pretty bad. Actually, that's okay, I guess. That's okay. This particular, I might be better off doing this, honestly. And then like going over here. That might actually be better for me. I think this move is wrong. This doesn't really do anything because if you don't do this, you always have the option of invading down here later. So I don't think that's a good move. Not critical though. Might have made a mistake on that. Probably should have just done this. Jump, invade. It's fine. Yeah, this is really important. Like I would just like here you could just like not do anything and just do this instead. Because you already have this over here, so you don't need to finish the Joseki here. But letting me cut is not good. And this is definitely a huge mistake. This is giving me way too much territory. Yeah, I shouldn't have answered. I should not have answered this. I definitely should have just like done the shoulder hit. Definitely should not have answered that. But you know, you following through that does give you a little bit of thickness on top. I'm not really sure how to answer things like this. I might have like the AI is right. I probably should have just done the shoulder hit and maybe done something like this. He's developing his outer core. I don't think he has a real chance to kill me, but this is where he actually makes the mistake. If you're going to attack this, you would definitely go here and see what I do because like this I don't think he can kill me. I don't actually think he can kill me, but there is definitely threat. You would definitely you would like there's a huge difference between K7 and K6. K6 is a really bad move. And also here, like when you see this, you should definitely just go here. Letting me continue to break this is not a good idea because obviously I'm just gonna come down and take the eye space. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just done this and come out here. I just wanted to be a little bit more safe. So yeah, at this point he's still doing okay. But the thing is, like to me, I'm okay with this because like I actually live down here, and he did get this territory, which is okay. But like I'm not really in danger anymore. You can't really attack this group. I mean, you can. This is just a bad miscalculation. Um, yeah, this is pretty big because if I get this, like this is Sente for white over here. Because if white does this, he has it way over here. So if at white anytime does this, like black has to answer, and this is pretty big. That's why it's telling him to Atari here. Um, yeah, that's a pretty bad. This is a pretty bad mistake. Like being able to get this, like having this free move is pretty big, and basically like between this move and this move, right? This move is kind of pointless because there's not much territory down here anyways. This move is actually pretty important. So he took the move that wasn't that good is the problem. Of course, I get like because like if you do this, like if you do this, I would have to I would either have to connect or like I would have to Atari it. I would have to take it this way. Like in making this move, basically what you're saying is like when you do this, I can actually do this. And so it makes a it actually does make a pretty big difference. I think I probably would have just double Haned here. I mean, that's the most that white can do here. Like realistically, you don't really have you really don't have any chance of killing white here. And that's the end of the game. Because like, worst comes to worst, I can do this, and I can live. I'm alive if I do this, right? So I guess when I do this, I guess when I do this, you should go ahead and kill out this eye, but I don't think you can actually kill me here. There's too many issues. There's way too many issues for black to actually kill white here. I mean, just with this, right? You're gonna have a hard time killing this, honestly. I mean, you could do this, but at the same time, like, I just don't believe that you can actually kill black. I don't think you can actually kill white here. I don't see a way we can really kill white, so probably not a good decision. And you left this up as well, so yeah, like a lot of like wrongful fighting moves here. But like this game stayed pretty even up until like around this area, and like the main according to the AI like the main problem was like him trying to overplay his hand here and trying to attack this group, which you really can't connect because you have to, which you really can't attack because you have to realize that if I just do this, I'm alive. So the way you can't really attack it that much. And like dealing with invasions here, like he definitely dealt with this invasion wrong, in my opinion. I don't think I came out too much the better because he did get a lot of influence here. But like I said, like this particular move should definitely have been here. That puts white in a really hard position. All right, that's today's review. Like and subscribe, hit the bell notifications button, and I will be back tomorrow.